The Tainted Love Network presents It's Getting Drafty in Here with Magnificent Stan, a show about nothing.
Well, what's the show about? About nothing.
With special guests.
We're on the clock.
Then when are we sending in the ticket? I already sent the ticket.
Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of It's Getting Drafty in Here. I'm your host, Magnificent Stan, otherwise known as Brian. And today's episode is about something that all of us in our late 30s, early 40s know quite a bit about. We're going to be talking about Nintendo games, original NES Nintendo games. So I'm just going to jump right into it. We're going to have a nice long packed show today, so I wanted to keep the opening banter at a minimum. So first, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Yumper from the Yumper and Sfo at the show. He is our first repeat guest. How you doing, buddy?
Going well, man. Hope you're doing well.
Right on. We also have Zombie Jacki, who is a contributor for Southside Sox, as well as a member of ASS, All Sports Scene. How you doing, Jacki?
I'm doing well, Brian. Thank you for having me on here. Did you say All Sports Scene or did you just say ASS? Because my mom's gonna watch
added All Sports Scene. This is a fucking family show.
Mom, so I didn't say ass. Brian said ass.
So you're not part of the ass gang?
No, I am.
Right on. Our next
Thank you
guest.
For having me.
No problem. You helped me develop this episode, so thank you very much. We also have a couple of bums with us. First one is Bologna. How you doing, buddy?
Hello. I'm excited to be here. I can't tell you how much I've thought about this episode since the moment you DM'd me. I've worked on my list multiple times. I'm on probably edit number 5, and I'm ready to go. So yeah, thank you for having me. Awesome.
And finally, we have the HBIC, who was our favorite bartender last Friday for the U.S.-England soccer game. How you doing, buddy? What are you drinking?
Thank you, kind sir. Tonight, we're known as the Bourbon Bums a lot on Twitter, but tonight I'm going a little worldly and a little Jameson Distillery edition. So unless you visit the distillery in Ireland itself, you can't get that bottle. So I am going a little fancy pants tonight for your pod.
Nothing says fancier than Nintendo games, right?
And also, I want to mention that I'm a little naughty tonight as well. Busted out the Christmas
naughty as ever.
Glasses.
It's not a dispute there. But all right, let's actually just get right into it. Yumper was lucky enough to get the first pick. And what do you got, buddy? What are we taking here today?
So this one was actually kind of hard because I was thinking, should I go with something I grew up loving or should I go with the slam dunk? And I think I'm just going to go with the slam dunk here. I'm going to go with a franchise that put Nintendo on the map, as we know. But I'm going to go with the third installment of that franchise, Super Mario Bros. 3.
Boo.
Damn it.
We had that. Okay. It had to happen. I was going to judge you so hard if anyone picked anything else but Mario 3 as the 1-1. If there ever was a 1-1 in a draft, I think Mario 3 is it. Unless somebody's booing. Jason, you think it's no? No, I'm just pissed because I was hoping he would take something else so I could jump on Mario 3.
It was
I was hoping he would go with his heart and not with his brain there, and so yeah, fortunately I'm not going to be able to take Mario 3.
Well,
hey man, we were anticipated for this game for a long time. Sticking with movies, The Wizard, was like one of the first movies I know that featured a video game that everybody wanted that wasn't out.
Yeah, so, that whole movie was just like a big vehicle for
Mario 3.
Yeah,
it was a big tease.
Definitely
savage.
I spent so many hours playing that game. I bought the book that told you all the Easter eggs that were in there, so I just slowly worked my way through that book. Like World 1-4, where you have to get all the coins in order to get that extra level. That was my shit, man.
I had to get the pirate ship that was floating down. You had to hide behind the white block, and then you had to go in the background, and a lot of cool stuff.
So go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Funny story about that is my grandmother played Mario 3 and Nintendo, believe it or not. And when I got the game, her and my dad pulled an all-nighter with her one night and had to go to work the next morning because they were playing it. And you could hear them like when they go and get the chest from Toad, he'd be like, "Nah, Ma, you could take that one. You could take that one. I'll take the next one." And like it was just hilarious that these two grown-ass people were playing Mario 3 till like 7 a.m. and then my dad had to go to work.
I bet if asked, I could still remember the different patterns when you get to a certain score level and you get that floating end thing where you have to like match the cards and get all those things for your tray. I bet I can still remember all of those patterns.
It's like going to the ballpark with Wally and Luke when they guess the beef race like 12 seconds in. That's pretty much how we are with Mario 3.
Yeah, the helmets with the baseballs.
Right. So about 15 years ago, I went out and I said, fuck it, I bought an old school Nintendo, and basically all we played the entire time for months and months on end was Mario 3. It was what we played when we were kids, but it's also like it's such a universal game that everybody you could pick it up today and just throw it on and play. So just very unique. It feels like they spent so much time just with all the intricacies of that one that and it sold 18 million copies. And outside of obviously the original Mario and Duck Hunt, which came with the system, the second and third in line, the other two games, which I won't mention. I shouldn't have mentioned the other two games to begin with, but the second and third selling game didn't add up to 18 million. So Mario 3 sold more copies than the second and third highest selling game in the history of that console.
Who by the time it was released, everyone had a Nintendo Entertainment System. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So it was I remember like the anticipation of it's coming out and everybody wants to have it. So yeah, I think it's the peak of like Nintendo's like I don't know if you want to call it like hot streak or whatever, but that was like the peak of the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what year it came out?
I think Mario 3 came 89. Yeah.
But you get the Nintendo Power magazines, and they had like all the maps list like drawn out so you could figure out where to go. The thing that irked me the most about Mario 3 was there was no like save system or like password, so you had to play it like all the way through to the point where you could just like screw it, I'm gonna take the warp pipes and just go to level 8 already and try to beat it. But every Saturday morning we would fire up Mario 3, eat some Market Days bagel dogs, and see how far we can get. In
next draft, Market Day food, because I can make a
holy
list of that
shit
as well.
But
also
the mozzarella circle,
yes, Bosco sticks.
Yep.
I can watch
mozzarella pie, the pizza mates, the bagel dogs, like all that shit, man.
Also, this is how we find out Jason is a spoiled kid, because he had the Nintendo Power magazines. I had to figure shit out on my own. I wasn't gonna get anything that let me find stuff ahead of time or quote unquote cheat.
And also go ahead, Brian.
February 1st, 1990, by the way.
Yes, in the US. Okay. I was just looking that up.
I was gonna say, how dare you say like, oh man, you can't save, you can't skip forward. Goddamn right you can't skip forward. You play all of those worlds because they are equally fantastic.
I wanted to. I just didn't have the time
don't,
as a kid.
Don't skip the water world. Don't skip the ice world.
What were you doing as a kid that was so time consuming?
I have nothing but time as a kid.
I had to play basketball or football.
Svo weighed in on the Market Day. And so did Al.
The pizza.
Right on. Well, let's go to the next one. What do you got for us?
All right. First off, before I make my draft pick, I want to say to Aloha, Mr. Hand, that the rest of us suck. Motherfucker, I gave you Pappy on Friday. And
that's a good point. This is how you repay me. You insult me by saying I suck. I'm going to have to cut you off from the bourbon plug from now on.
I have to say hi to my wife. She's actually watching. Hi, honey.
I still love you, Pete.
Also,
hi, Randy.
Brian, can you like reorder or move around the video boxes? Because every time someone puts a comment up,
we don't need to see his face. Leave him just as is. It's perfect as is.
I agree.
You know what?
Everyone should chat a lot more.
Maybe Aloha.
I want an angry pick out of you, man.
Yes,
come on.
He's gonna get angry very quickly. And that's the best Jason. If you're podcasting with Jason, you want him angry.
All right. You know what? If Mario Brothers is a clear consensus 1-1, I'm going the clear consensus 1-2, and it's The Legend of Zelda. It's one of the originals. It's probably one of the best Zeldas besides maybe Link to the Past. But once you got like the giant world map and you knew where all the levels were and the order you had to go in, it's a great game. And you do like the second quest after you beat it the first time, and so it had like some good replay value. It's a great game. I got nothing else to say about that.
I personally don't have anything to say about Zelda. I'll let you guys take that because I never got into it. I loved the damn music, but outside of that, I never got into them.
Hand up, Brian. Sorry to interrupt. We talked about this in the group chat with the Chicago Sports Moms. Johnny's a big Zelda guy. Jason's a big Zelda guy. I mean, I could talk about. I got a list 40 long. I've never played Zelda, and I thought that was going to be like a big bombshell or like a big like. It probably discredits me a lot. I understand how big of a game it was, but I was busy playing the other 39 on my list. So yeah, I never got into Zelda. I know, it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't have it. I have like 35 on my list. I don't have a Zelda game either.
Jacki looks.
I am heartbroken. How do you not get into Zelda? Oh my goodness. And yeah, Link to the Past was the best one. That was actually my first exposure into Zelda, and I had to like backwards go into the original. You said it was the best besides Link to the Past. That's Ocarina of Time Erasure. And
I would for me, I would probably put that one third on my rankings. I just because I'm a sucker for nostalgia, so that was just an amazing one for me. But I still think Link to the Past is the GOAT of Zelda games.
It is. I agree. Yump, are you into Zelda? You're the deciding vote, I think.
I used to play Zelda a lot. But I know why HBIC took Zelda because I mean it has a save feature and his ass has so much time,
basketball
to do things for basketball.
Yeah.
But
that's right.
It's one of the few games besides the knockoffs that came with like a gold cart. So I remember seeing that as a kid. I was like, oh, this, and you go find stuff and whatnot. I thought it's legendary as it says. I mean, the game still makes money to this day. So you can't go wrong with that pick. That was actually
wrong with Zelda.
Back and forth for Super Mario Bros. In that one for me.
I'm surprised they never made a movie of it.
They had I think IGN put out a fake trailer.
There was a cartoon back in the day.
Well, that was
the cartoon. I remember watching the cartoon. They didn't play the games, but I watched that.
Yeah, it was on the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
I wonder was there an adult film of Zelda?
How dare you, sir?
Jason, this is your expertise.
How was his sword?
I would never besmirch my childhood in Zelda with watching a cheap porno knockoff of Zelda.
Link is a
because that just seems getting into weird with like the elf ears and everything. Now you're just like getting into
all right.
Well,
it's like some furry area and shit like that.
All right. Oh man.
All right, Bologna, what do you got, buddy?
All right, so I feel like this is where the draft opens up. There's still some chalk picks left, but sitting in the third hole, I was really worried about my next pick not getting back to me. And Jason, Brian, I said I was going to get problematic. It's Mike Tyson. It's Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
You son of a bitch.
It's my 1-1.
I'm crossing out so many games.
It's
damn it.
Probably the game I've played the most ever. As a kid, I remember because we were still pretty young when it came out. I remember figuring out the bosses, Glass Joe and Bald Bull. Speaking of Bald Bull, I still use that as an insult to people that are bald. I'm like, look at this Bald Bull looking motherfucker. It's got the best like characters. And then at the end, you got to play Mike Tyson. And I want it to be known. Maybe if you could change it, I need it to be Mike Tyson's Punch Out, not the other one. Because
oh boy,
we don't want to
because
that's the best one.
I'm kind of pissed you mentioned that, Peter, because I would have had to dock you points for
it's gonna
definitely
no, I'm not drafting Punch Out. I'm drafting Mike Tyson's Punch Out. 007-373-5963, right? That's the code to get into skip everything.
Wow.
Yeah, I love it. I love it so much.
I love just the uniqueness of all the characters in it. It's just and like all of like half of them are super like horrible stereotypes too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like the grizzled creepy harsh German and like the
Von Kaiser.
and like
and then Soda Popinski.
Yeah, Soda Popinski.
He was originally named Vodka Drunkinski,
Yep.
and they had to change it. So yeah, we were getting a little problematic in our use.
I was gonna say it's a little xenophobic, I think.
Yeah, Piston Honda from Japan.
Don Flamenco was really like flamboyant.
Yeah, Piston Honda. They ended up changing his name to Piston Hondo because they didn't want to get sued by Honda. Yeah, I said we were gonna get this draft canceled, and I'm starting quick with the.
I'm gonna
Punch Out.
I'm gonna get this canceled right now because the best part of Punch Out was in between each round when Little Mac would get jerked off by the coach. And then you would hit
select button.
Yeah, then you hit select and he goes a little faster.
Yeah. That's all part of my
round, man. Like,
that was my pick. So you stole my pick.
Thank God. I was worried. I told you I've been thinking about this a lot. I thought possibly it would get back to me on the turn, but I'm like, I can't risk it.
So we have a DM thread on Twitter, getting this together. And the five of us have been talking, and I think we're all pretty convinced that Bologna's been cheating. So I'm going to say you fucking cheated and you found what my answer was. Goddamn cheater.
I mean, I'm wearing a Punch-Out shirt. I think that pretty much shows I was going to pick it regardless. Oh shit!
Oh, there's sound effects.
I need to steal that for the Bumcast. I'm gonna steal all these bits.
I've been wanting to use the loser horn from The Price is Right for a while, so we gotta figure that one out. Okay.
I love it.
Yeah, that one, one of my favorite games of all time. Like I could play that forever. And funny story, I was dating my wife and I was house sitting, and I beat it at, I'm like a 22-year-old man, and I beat it at like 2:00 in the morning, and I had to call her to tell her, hey, I just beat Mike Tyson.
I think you want to refrain from saying that you beat it at 2:00 in the morning on the internet for everyone to see.
Somebody's gonna clip that.
No, but nobody's watching this anyway. Don't worry about it. All right, let's go next one. Son of a bitch. Yeah, I'm gonna go original Mario.
Original
that's what
Mario
I was in
or
between.
Super Mario?
Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers.
There's a difference.
That was what I was in between.
I wish he picked Mario Bros. So it just been like him and Luigi like going on the different levels in between the pipes.
It's such a damn classic, man. It's such a classic. I can't really say that much more. Nintendo wouldn't have been what it was without Mario. Like Mario, like that first game just blew them up. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else to say about that. I did do a little bit of Mario research. And apparently when they were developing the arcade game, which was the initial, I guess it was Donkey Kong was the first one. It was supposed to be actually Popeye. And they couldn't get the rights to it. So they did
eventually. There is a
Popeye after they made some money with Donkey Kong, then
Popeye wanted some of that sweet Nintendo money.
Right. So if it wasn't for the Popeye people playing hardball, we may never even gotten Mario. Somebody did a test or some type of measurement, and they said if Mario is 6 feet tall, when he jumps 27 feet in the air. So that motherfucker's got some hops. He must be pumping his Reeboks, get up there. So, and then I'm going to close this out with a Mario joke for you guys.
Okay.
I'm a little scared. Go for it.
What were his overalls made of?
Denim.
Yeah!
I will say Mario 1 and Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, they're still super popular to this day. There's still competitions on them because of the speed running thing. If you go on YouTube, there's competitions.
There's like a guy who can beat it in 6 minutes or whatever.
So me and my cousin, like back not too long ago, we were in our 20s and we lived together. We would do speed running challenges of Mario 1. So the fastest I beat it in was like 9 minutes and 20 seconds and stuff like that. But the pros are like crazy. They basically do it with their eyes closed.
That guy with the mustache and the cowboy hat, like on YouTube, who does all like the speed challenges. don't know if you've ever seen his stuff, but he's impressive.
Yeah, Arcarus, I think his name is. Arcarus
Yeah.
or something like that?
Yep. He's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it spawned like it made him a global icon. And if you notice, like after that game came out, like he was so popular that they started putting him in other games. I think he was in tennis. That had nothing to do with him. He was in golf.
Well, I mean, he was in Punch Out too.
Yeah, he was in Punch Out. He was a referee in Punch Out. Like
apparently they didn't. Whoever was developing it didn't get the permission to use Mario. They just threw him in the game, and Nintendo never said anything about it.
it's crazy. Like, and then it spawned Super Mario Brothers the movie, or like my friend Johnny's brother called it, Super Mario Brothers, with John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins, who was a cinematic
Dennis
masterpiece.
Hopper.
And Dennis Hopper as King Koopa.
I'm trying to remember. I read the other day who they want. Oh, they wanted Schwarzenegger to play Koopa, and he turned it down.
Yeah, that movie. I remember seeing that movie in theaters. That movie was horrible, but
it's awful.
It's still good childhood memories.
All right, Jacki, let's see what you got.
So first of all, I did not spend weeks on my draft, my list. I made it about 5 minutes before we started. And I want you to know that I know that we chose draft order by a randomizer, but it's giving misogyny that
I'm sexist. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Instead
is
of making
is this where I tell you to shut up and pick?
Yes, but I want to say before I pick, I wasn't making my list because I was making a banner because it's my first draft. I'm bringing it in. Okay, so the only thing left on my top 5 list is I'm going to go with a game that I probably played the second most after Mario 3, and that's Paperboy. Paperboy.
Ooh.
Great one.
I forgot about Paperboy.
You forgot about Paperboy.
It was not on my board. Like, you reminded me that I messed up on that one because I love Paperboy.
That game is so freaking hard.
It gets hard at the end, but it instilled a great fear of me of tornadoes coming down my street and sewer gratings and dogs and crazy ladies chasing you with a knife.
I was like the guy who was like breakdancing.
Oh yeah.
And then, the tornado would show up.
That's what I'm saying. The tornado's coming down my street like out of nowhere. It's a sunny day, but here comes a tornado, and it's gonna fuck up my paper route. I want a perfect rating.
Brian, I know what you're thinking. You said it. What town is this? And I hate to do it because I don't want to go negative so quickly. So sorry, Jacki. But you asked us to write down the worst game for the end of the draft, and I only had one, and it's Paperboy.
Oh my god!
That town should be condemned. Like, I don't know what it is about that town. What is going on? It's like the Purge,
shows up out of the corner.
Yeah, I mean, you got cars, just reckless cars running over kids. The kid is drunk because he's the worst bike rider I've ever seen. That guy could barely stay in a straight line.
No, that's user error. That's user error.
Paperboy is
kid,
rough.
And I proved it at the end of every block when I went through the bike obstacle.
Yeah, what kind of neighborhood has an obstacle course at the end of their street?
I'm telling you, man, it's like the Purge.
An awesome one.
The thing is, though, they painted their houses different colors when they subscribed to a fucking newspaper. so if you subscribe, you have to paint your whole house, which I thought was kind of funny in the game. And that lady that comes out goes apeshit, and sometimes she's a subscriber, so I don't know why she goes apeshit after you.
She's the original Karen.
She's really upset about a Jay Mariotti column that she read.
That's a great point. All right, I'm back. I like Paperboy because I hate Jay Mariotti.
That works. Now, before your second pick, Jacki, I'm gonna. I had just a couple of quick random Nintendo facts that I thought were funny. So Nintendo, before they got into electronics, they made dirty playing cards.
Nice.
Interesting fact.
Good for them.
Right. So on the...
I have follow-up questions, but I'm not going to ask them here.
So the US version of the Nintendo had a door, the door and the drawer to put the game in. Made the game harder to load because of security features. That's when you got the
family show, Brian.
When you got the blinking light. So the reason they put the door on the actual machine is because Nintendo was so fucking scared to sell a video game system in the United States that they wanted to market it as a home computer like Coleco. And then
those Colecos will rust up on you like
right. Like 5 minutes, and then like 5 minutes later, like, oh fuck it, let's just throw a bunch of video games in there. So that was kind of funny. In Japan, all the other versions of Nintendo, by the way, were all top loaders. So it's kind of weird. There were 2 versions in Japan. One had a tape recorder attached to it, and another one had a sewing machine.
That's practical. Yeah. That's practical.
Didn't the Famicom have like a speaker inside the controller? Because I know I remember reading about Legend of Zelda that like the characters, one of them you could scare by blowing them up by screaming into your controller. And I think it was the Famicom, right? That had it.
I didn't read that one. No, I don't know. Yeah, that's that. I wouldn't be surprised. Because they just did a lot of weird, cool shit with that. If you look at the Famicom, the actual colors and everything just looked like inviting, and then the Nintendo that we know is just this gray box. You know what I mean? Like
toaster.
Right. Exactly. But okay, let's go with Jacki. What you got for your next one?
Okay, so this game, I got to close out the franchise. Even though it's the worst one of the franchise, it's still good enough to be the 6th overall pick, and that's Super Mario Brothers 2.
I love it.
Gotta take that one. That was the first time you could play with different characters. I typically chose the princess because she could float and make those long jumps.
She had hops.
She had hops. It's either that or Toad. I usually didn't. Luigi sucked. I never played with Luigi.
Nobody played with Toad.
I played with Toad. That sounded bad.
I played with Toad because he was a small guy.
I gotta be honest. I hated Mario Brothers 2.
Did you?
Mostly because I didn't know what the hell was going on with that game. Like, it just
I'll
seemed
tell
like
you a
such
story
a
about that
deviation.
What's
from,
not
like,
to get?
the
It's a dragon that shoots eggs at you. What's not to get?
So the reason it's a weird game is because Mario Brothers, the original Super Mario Brothers, was such a success that they had to rush Mario Brothers 2, and they just basically ported a Japanese game. It's called Yumi Kojo Doki Doki Panic. They basically just swapped all the characters, and it was already a game, and they just made it Mario 2, which it's tough. You know, you're sandwiched between Mario 1 and Mario 3, which are, you know, Mount Rushmore games. But this game has a lot of good, like, redeeming qualities about it. I played this game
cool. Like, they all pick shit
game.
up and throw it at people. I thought it was
Paul
so
bar.
unique.
Yeah, and
you can make a door out of some potion.
There you go. If I was too young at the time, if I was on drugs, Mario 2 would be the game to play if you're on drugs.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mario 2, and Yumper reminded me about this the other day. I remember reading it years ago, and I looked it up again. Mario 2 was actually supposed to be a completely different game, but the Nintendo thought that it was too hard, and it eventually became Super Mario Brothers: The Hidden Levels years later. But that was supposed to be Mario 2, but it was so difficult, or just comparatively to the first one, that they said, fuck it, we're just gonna slap our sticker on this other game and throw it out there.
Well, I liked it. That's my pick.
Oh, it's fun. I love that game. I funny story, we bought it like the day it came out, and my brother, who didn't live with us when I was a kid, took it home, and I didn't see it for like 2 years. So
damn,
like I didn't get to play it forever. Yeah, but it's fun. I love that game.
Yeah, I would have picked it. I would have picked it if it fell to me in the second round.
Yeah. I had a little ways down, but all right. Well, I think Svo was already upset that it wasn't picked in the first round, so my second round pick will be Contra.
Damn. I was hoping that was going to follow me. That's my whole plan was Punch Out and Contra.
Another one of those games that literally you can just jump and play right now, and you remember a lot of the stuff. Obviously, you remember the code, the up, down, down.
Left, right. A, B, select, start.
Select if you have 2 players.
Yeah, select.
I would play with 2 players, dude. Red pants guy and red pants guy, man.
Yep.
Bill and Lance.
I didn't know their real names. We call them blue pants guy and red pants guy.
But this was the game you played if you had a friend over. You know, you put in that code and you two run shop, it's probably the best co-op game for Mario or for Nintendo. I love it. So yeah, that was my plan all along was to pick Contra. So I'm pissed you took
Especially if you get the spread gun too.
Yeah,
it was like the shocker, you know.
Jesus Christ.
That's why we put you on the bottom. Put a comment so we don't have to see that.
Hey, Yumper, earmuffs, man. Go ahead, Jason. You can start talking again.
Yeah, just shocker, everyone.
But yeah, I mean, Contra. I mean, it's legendary.
It's basically what was it? What was it designed after? Basically, to be like Rambo, right? I mean,
yeah,
Rambo or Predator, basically combined.
Well, people were saying it was like Rambo and like Commando together, like Schwarzenegger and Stallone, which I thought was kind of cool.
My sneaky favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, Commando.
What about Twins?
Twins is a good movie too.
Jingle All the Way. Jingle All the Way is a classic, man.
Do not hate that Jingle.
We're doing
I love Jingle All the Way.
Schwarzenegger draft. Where this is a 5-hour show.
Kindergarten Cop. That's all.
Yeah. It's not
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
It's not a tumor.
Stop it.
Grab ferret.
Oh Lord.
All right, Bologna. Let's go.
Damn. All right. So there goes my draft. I was leaning on Punch Out Contra back to back. But I will take a game that came out later, but I was gonna switch it, but no, I'm gonna do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game.
That was very high on my list as well.
It was at that time when it came out, like it's still the same 8-bit graphics. It looked different than what everything else we were playing, you know. If you compare this to Mario 1, it looks like a completely different system. It had the tie-ins with Pizza Hut. I mean, Ninja Turtles at the time were the hottest thing in the streets. And this game, it's an all-time classic. And you could still play it, you know, if you go to like barcades and stuff like that, you still play some version of this game to this day. So yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it's so fun. It's for I think it was either my 9th birthday. My parents got it for me, and I had a sleepover, and that's all we did all night was just play Ninja Turtles 2.
And this is another one of the games where it's better if you play with a friend, you know. Punch Out I could play by myself, and nobody could be around, and I'm having fun. But you know, Ninja Turtles 2, like you need a friend, you know. It's better to play together.
Yeah, Swole actually has a cabinet of that game in the Batman room at his house.
Yep.
All right,
I like that.
So,
I love that game though. I played it in the arcade as a kid, and then getting to play it at home. Even though, like you said, the graphics were a little dummy down, but it's still a fun game to play. Even to today's day, it's still a fun game to play.
Yep.
And Peter, you said that it was the hottest things in the streets. I just want to know what streets you're referring to.
Roberts Road, 91st Street and Roberts Road.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. I just wanted to clarify that.
Kevin, you're cracking me up today.
Hold on. I did grow up, we grew up close to each other. So before I hit Roberts Road, I was right on 37th in California. So those were the streets.
You were at the Dirty Sock all day.
Oh, yeah, that too. So,
We love the Dirty Sock, man, especially Heineken Towers on Thursdays.
Oh, Heineken Towers were good. I would say that. But yeah, it was the dirty streets of Roberts Road.
All right. Let's go HBIC. What do you got?
I'm torn because my 2 second-round picks are still on the board, and I thought one of them was going to be taken. So I don't know if I should go with my heart or for chalk, but I feel like this one will get picked up by Yumper if I don't take it. So I'm going to go with Tecmo Super Bowl.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, I had that one. The next one.
That's a good one. That was high on my list. High.
I'm surprised it took that long for Tecmo Bowl to get on the board.
I was hoping it would just come down.
It has to be
Tecmo
Super Bowl, not Tecmo Bowl, because we all need Bo Jackson in Tecmo Super Bowl, and you just run around.
Yeah, I was more into. I like Christian Okoye more on that one. He just run through people.
Both good choices.
No, I would try to even like the Buffalo Bills back then were great when they had like Jim Kelly and Andre Reed and
Thurman Thomas
or Thurman Thomas on the team. Like, but yeah, you just play with the Raiders and you just win every game you played. So yeah, Tecmo Super Bowl is. I also probably have that's probably the first game I ever rage quit, where I would throw my controller at the wall because something just bad would happen in that game where you're just like, that's fucking bullshit. Come on, I tackled that motherfucker. But still a great game. Can't beat it.
It really is, and it was the first one where you could do like a season, and it kept the statistics, and that's the shit I loved. And yeah, just a fun game. I used to always try to win with the Bears, no matter what. And people are so obsessed still with Tecmo Super Bowl that you can get ROMs where they update the rosters every single season. So like if you want to play Tecmo Bowl with Justin Fields, all you got to do is get an emulator and you can download the game.
Yeah, Swole was completely right. It's another game you can save. So I see a trend going on here, Jason.
That's right.
That was number 5 on my list, by the way. Right up.
I will say that I don't know if I just got like a bad cartridge or whatever, but for whatever reason, that game was always one of the hardest ones for me to boot up. Where I was always like blowing it and putting it back in, and not. Yeah. And then you get like the fucking black and colored screen, and then you like take it out, blow it again. Like
I'm sure we all have. I'm sure we all have a game like that. Like I won't give away picks, but I had a couple cartridges where it was a mission just to play the game.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, the wiggle around the cartridge to get it to fit. Yeah, that
you put one on top of the other. Did you ever do that trick?
Yeah,
where you put one in and then you kind of put one in like halfway and kind of push it down.
Or well, I finally got the Game Genie, so we would like put that on the ones that weren't working right, so we could just bypass that to go straight to the game.
Another cheater, you and Jason.
Definitely,
fucking cheaters.
Definitely, dude.
All right, Yumps.
So I'm gonna go with mine. So you did take Tecmo Super Bowl, which I really wanted to have, but I'm gonna go with another one of my favorite games, and it's kind of like one of the most graphic games I saw when you boot up the start screen. You see a guy punch a woman in the damn stomach, and then carry her off. And as a kid, I was like, "Holy shit!" Well, I didn't say that, but I was like, I told my dad like, "This guy hits this girl," and he's like, "What? What are you playing?" And he looked at it, he's like, "Oh." But Double Dragon, man, I played that game for hours, and like, I love that game.
I love the arcade version. That's where we used to go to Ducks and play it all the time when I was a little kid.
Yeah, it's totally a fun game, man. Just beating the shit out of people with like bottles and whatnot.
Yep.
Yeah, it's one of those beat 'em ups that you probably shouldn't be playing as a kid, but it was so awesome, you know. So yeah, it's a great pick.
I like the when you would get the move and you would like headlock him and like knee.
It's just a fun like button matcher.
And you got that one guy with the gigantic head. You know what I'm talking about? There's like a big
Adobo.
Got like a giant head.
Is it Adobo or Abobo?
Bobo?
Abobo, I think his name is. He's the guy that comes out, yeah. I think it's his name, Abobo.
Abobo. That's really frightening.
The music was good in it too.
Yeah.
But and then for my second pick, so this is another game that like I really liked the visual aspect. It was hard as shit, and that was Ninja Gaiden.
Mm-hmm.
I love that it had like the cutscenes that were really cool. The story was kind of cool for me as a kid, but it was hard as hell. Like I spent many nights staying up to like 2 a.m. to try to beat certain levels, and I have to go back and do it the next day because it didn't have a save feature.
The cutscenes were cinematic. If you could ever have cinematic cutscenes in an 8-bit video game, it was like unlike anything else I was playing. So yeah, that's a great pick. I will say Ninja Gaiden. For the longest time, I would call it Ninja Gaiden or like there's like
I thought called it Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, so as a kid,
Ninja Gaiden.
So like as a kid, like you don't like you just read it and like that's how I pronounced it for 30 years.
Yeah, the wizard showed us how to pronounce it correctly.
That's funny.
I like that game, but then when you would, I think it was like towards the end where if you died, you have to go back like to the entire like
start of the third round. Yeah, it was like 3 levels.
And it was just like, oh man, I just got like so far. Like I don't want to go back through all this. It got frustrating after a while. It was probably one of those. As much as a great game it did make you rage quit after a while.
It was a tough game. There's a couple of those that borderline impossible.
Yeah, you can't go back. Let's go with
I'm back.
Yeah, you're back.
So I want to thank you, Yumper, because you didn't take my other top second round pick, and I was really worried that this was going to fall off the board by then. And it's the best of its genre. It's a classic. It won't be beat. The music is the best. It's Mega Man 2.
Oh, god damn it.
I had that one.
That's a good one.
That was way high on my list. God damn.
Yeah. It's the best of the Mega Mans. It won't be beat.
Yeah.
And it was the first one where you weren't facing the elements. You got Metal Man, Flash Man, Quick Man, Heat Man, Air Man. Like, it's a great game. I think I probably played that game over 100 times, and and just the music is amazing on that too. Like, I made a comment one time years ago, back when I was a promoter for clubs and everything. I said a DJ should just go on set and play like all Mega Man theme songs, and just to troll like the kids. And I would fucking jam out all day, because some of those are the best like MIDI like music you could probably have for the 8-bit era. But Mega Man 2 is still the GOAT of the Mega Man games. So I'm happy that fell to me in the third round.
I always felt Mega Man 2, whenever you played it, it felt like it was on a different system. Like, it was like it was quicker, it seemed like, almost like the graphics and the transitions were just a lot smoother than your standard Nintendo games. They're like, you get like characters like blinking on the screen or anything like that. It was very smooth. That was
then you just had you let the start menu play, and it's
I'm gonna
no, keep going. I was like, how long is this gonna go?
Dude,
this is
do you want a job as a sound effects guy?
I mean, put a few whiskeys in me, I can make any sounds.
Done.
That's every day. The good thing about Mega Man 2 were like, it was like a choose your own adventure. It wasn't formulaic. Like, you had to figure out which boss you wanted to fight first, and then use his power to beat other power. So it was kind of cool. Where like it's not just stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. It was a choose your own adventure.
It's definitely like it's one of the tougher games too as a kid. But like you guys are saying, just like growing up with it, you could change different characters, which is something like Nintendo games weren't really known for at the time, which is kind of reason why I kind of like Super Mario Bros. 2. You should pick different people, and that game you could change to different people once you absorb their powers, which I thought was pretty cool. And
the characters were unique. A lot of the times, if you had different characters, they were all pretty much the same. The same thing. So Mario, just like Mario 2, they all, just like Jacki mentioned with the princess jumping differently and can float and do all kinds of fancy shit.
She was slow as fuck, though.
She was
slow. And Mega Man, before he absorbs everyone's powers, he was the original white man can't jump, because he just
the same thing.
He was frustrated. Yeah, just up 2 inches. That's about it.
You had to open your mouth too while you jumped. It's like,
there you go. That is
all right, Bologna, what do we got, bud?
So here's where it gets tricky. I want this game because we've been mentioning technology and stuff like that. I think I have to do it. I think I want the light gun. I'm gonna do Duck Hunt. I think it was something that when I still don't understand how that technology works. Like, how the hell does it realize where you're shooting? This was like, the early or late 80s, early 90s when we were playing these games. It was ahead of its time. So I'll take Duck Hunt because I feel like it'll look good on the graphic, and that light gun was badass.
So
that was the first. Right.
The way I understood it, I actually watched a video on it the other day, and like the light. Let me take down the lights. When you shot, the screen would. Do you ever notice when you shot, the screen would go black? It was trying to match up the lens with the light from the actual bird or clay or whatever.
Yeah,
amazing. I just want to say that's the first Nintendo game I ever played in my life.
I think for most people too.
Yeah, because and that's where I had that DM to you. I was like, we're gonna have to differentiate. Because if you draft Mario 1, Duck Hunt came with it in a lot of games. So it's like, if you draft one, you can't have the other, because that's like an automatic win.
I hate Duck Hunt.
I hate the dog. The laughing dog was a son of a bitch.
It. If your light gun sucked and broke, and like you couldn't hit the damn things, and they'll come up and laugh at you, and I'm just like, fuck this game. As a kid, I remember like playing it. Yeah, it just annoyed me. And for some, like I went and bought like a different light gun, and it broke like after like 3 weeks. I'm like, yeah, I never played Duck Hunt again.
Brian, make sure you write Bologna for Duck Hunt in the round board.
Yes, dear.
Got it.
Anybody ever see the
Dutch Hunt?
See the what?
I'm gonna put Dutch Hunt just to fuck with you. It's Dutch Hunt.
That's messed up, man.
That's problematic.
That is. Well, wait, no, yeah, that's what we're doing Saturday. United States versus Netherlands.
Oh, the Netherlands,
Dutch Hunt.
yeah.
Dutch Hunt.
Dutch Hunt.
Christ.
My mom was incredible at duck hunts. She could stand like 20 feet from the TV and she still had everything.
There you go. So now I got her vote.
Yeah, she had the cheat code. Okay, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go with one that I don't know if people even know much about. Track and field.
That was on my list. Did you have the power pad? Did you have the power pad?
No, we used to use the controller, but we'd cheat. We'd take the controller and we'd take a pen and you'd run it along the.
Now who's the fucking cheater?
Everyone's exposing their secrets, which is interesting.
So we did have the power pad, but we used to get down on our knees and like pat the pads really fast in our hands.
I'm sorry, you used to what now?
Okay.
Say it louder.
No, I don't want to say it louder. But we used to pat the things with our hands as kids to
like
try
little Mac in between rounds.
Yeah.
Select.
I love that game. It had like 6 or 7 different events, and it was just each one had its own unique thing, and it was one that like everybody played, that everybody, you know what I mean, like a very like a group game. And then they had like all the weird little hacks in it, like when you're playing the what's the thing you throw? The
javelin.
Discus?
Javelin. Javelin. When you throw the javelin, if you throw it perfectly, it hits a spaceship and the spaceship comes down. Just like random shit like that I always loved.
Just like in real life. I like the skeet shooting. That was my thing.
The power pad was awesome.
Sorry, Luke.
Track and field.
All right. Jacki, you got 2 here.
Okay. I can't believe this is still on the board. I cannot believe this game is still on the board. So I went back and forth between these similar games, but I have to give it to Dr. Mario. Dr. Mario.
Oh my God. Hold on. So when you said that the franchise was off the board, that was going to be my pick because I'm like, it's not off the board. Dr. Mario was so good. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Dr. Mario was so good. And I was amazing at it. I still am amazing at it.
Jacki, my dad would actually hijack my Nintendo because he loved Dr. Mario so much. It was one of the few games he could actually play that I would be like, oh, I want to go play Nintendo. And my dad would be either he had a couple games, but like Dr. Mario was his jam.
Yeah. My wife, shout out Julie, we still have a Wii in our living room because we had downloaded Dr. Mario and she still plays it.
So I thought I was awesome at Dr. Mario, but then I married my husband and he's, I hope he's watching. So what he does is he likes to make you think that you're awesome at it, and he'll let you feel like you're winning for a while, but then he just drops the fucking hammer over and over. Like I almost got a divorce because of Dr. Mario.
Yeah.
Sounds like my wife and I playing Monopoly.
Interesting.
And if you want to talk about games with amazing music, Dr. Mario.
Awesome soundtrack. I agree.
Yes.
I didn't want to give it up when we were talking Mario 1, 2, and 3. Jason, for one of your Halloween parties, my wife was Dr. Mario and I was the Mario from Punch Out, and along with 3 friends. We were just a bunch of different Marios. And she was Dr. Mario. And like you said, I don't think I've ever beaten her.
Okay.
I have never beaten my wife.
Good. I'm glad
at Dr. Mario.
At Dr. Mario, yes. All right, so my next pick. Oh boy. No one else likes this game but me, but I love it. So it's going on the fucking board. Adventure Island.
That's a great game.
Ooh, that's a good game.
Yes.
Most people like Adventure Island 2 better. I'm not. I'm original. I want what is it? Master Higgins, which a very original concept. He has to save a princess. And all he has to do is like go through like this island of peaceful animals that are just trying to live their life and throw axes at him. on a skateboard. You can't beat that.
I have no idea what this game is. I'll be honest with you.
What?
Really?
Never played it.
I think it's like a cult classic.
Isn't it early Nintendo days?
I looked it up. I think it's 87.
That's one of the early Nintendo games. Yeah.
Brian, go smash that light. Go play Adventure Island.
Okay.
Yeah, Brian, you're missing out, man. It's a good fun game.
I got a big fancy new computer, so maybe I'll throw the emulator on.
Ooh.
Okay. Nice.
You know what? Can I just say, since you said emulator, we already have enough power in our phones. Can we just get like Nintendo games like to download on our phone? Like
you can,
but like I want the feel of the controller in my hand.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, let's go next. You know what's funny is, so my 3 picks, Mario, Contra, track and field, those are 3 of my top 6. I'm going to go with my number 7 here. A lot of people, my first of possibly 2 baseball games that I'll be taking tonight.
Okay.
I'm going to go Baseball Stars, first one.
Oh, I love that game. It was on my board, dude. That game is awesome.
Baseball Stars was, I've always loved baseball, but that was the shit, man. That was my
Japanese team was the best.
There were like 9 Japanese teams.
It was like the black Japanese team.
The Ninja Black Sox?
Yes, there you go.
Basically are the White Sox City Connect jerseys.
Southside, baby.
Seriously, it is. It's a weird game because you can make your own team and you name your guys on it. There was also another game that had a cheat code in it when you're creating a team. If you put there's like you pick what type of team you're trying to create, and if you do a certain code with it, it actually gives you like a team full of perfect players. So there's another opportunity for me to cheat. I'm waiting for Jacki
Exposing.
The fucking cheater.
Right. Thank you. But yeah, that was probably outside of Tecmo Super Bowl my favorite sports game. Unless, well, I guess you can call Punch Out
track and field. You drafted track and field above it.
Yeah, I didn't. I was worried someone would take that. I didn't think anybody would pick Baseball Stars at all. So,
okay.
Sorry, Luke, but track and field's not a sport. I'm just kidding. I ran track in high school.
Holy shit!
No, I'm just kidding. I ran track in
many sports.
Luke is like the nicest human being ever. You're really gonna do that to him?
Tune into the Bumcast December 12th. We'll have Bruhan Luke on if he still likes us.
Yay!
And I learned we're talking college bowls and not.
Yes, that's
bowls.
Differentiate, please. All right, I'm up, right?
Yes, dear.
I am in between 2. Brian, you said you had your what was Baseball Stars pretty high up on your list. I have 2. I don't know what I want to do. I still have another sports up there, but I think I'm going to do Battletoads. Battletoads is a game very much like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, where like the graphics looked different. It felt faster. And this is the game where for sure rage quit during the hover bikes levels. Those things were borderline impossible. They were so goddamn frustrating, but that was such a fun game to play. So yeah, Battletoads. I love them.
I always love when you're beating the shit out of somebody on that, and his hand gets like gigantic. And
yeah, the pause screen music was awesome too. If you guys ever heard that, like the pause screen music,
yeah, it was like.
Yeah, it's just like that game was badass, man. I like that game.
I hated Battletoads. It was another rage quit game.
It was
way too hard for my 6-year-old self.
I didn't have saves for him.
I like there's that scene where you're swinging back and forth, and you're like a bulldozer or something. But if there's 2 people, every time you do it, you knock the other guy and kill him. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and I should mention for kids our age, the characters' names Rash, Zitz, and Pimple. We're like, oh, that's so funny.
Okay, HBIC, what do you got, buddy?
I am so happy that you guys have not taken my chalk. Because this pick could have easily been a round 2 or round 3. And I've seen it in the comments, and I think I'll get some applause for this one. DuckTales.
Yes, 100%.
Damn it.
DuckTales is one of the greatest Nintendo games. It's the best Disney crossover game that they ever made. And I don't care. I think I played that game. I replay that game no matter how many times I beat it. It was, you go to the moon, you're in the mines, you're in Transylvania, like you're in the Himalayas. Like, it's a great game. And finally, I mean, who didn't like Scrooge McDuck in the DuckTales show back then?
It made Scrooge McDuck likable. You're using his cane like a pogo stick.
Yeah.
I had it written down. It's the best like licensed game on the NES. There's a couple I have like written down, but DuckTales was really, really good. It's a great game.
Again, let's talk about the soundtrack of that game. Amazing.
Yeah. I like the games with this good soundtracks. Mega Man 2, Duck Hunt, you know.
The 8-bit music for that sounds really good. Like, it kind of sounds like the show, and then the other music they have for their levels is pretty good.
Just like that MIDI music is so familiar. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Whenever you hear it, you always, even if you don't know the song, it's still like just the tones. You know,
It brings you back to your childhood.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
So speaking of music, I know Swole would not let me live this down if I didn't mention this game.
The Crow?
No, but Batman.
Yes.
By
Batman's a
Sunsoft.
good game.
They had a great soundtrack in it, and also like a very fun and tough game to play. And it's a lot like Ninja Gaiden, but it was actually really fun and cool to play.
That was your pick, right? Yeah. I mean,
Right on.
I had it right underneath DuckTales, so that's why I said best licensed game, and it's one of the two. That Batman, the 1989 movie Batman, it had, you know, the logo and stuff like that on it. It's a really, really good game. It's a really fun game to play.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I don't think I ever owned it. I would just rent it like on repeat from like the, you know, V8 like record store or whatever we did back in the day, and I just keep on renting it for like $3 for 2 days, whatever it was.
For a weekend. Yeah.
I was gonna mention when Ninja Gaiden went off the board that like that Batman game was almost seemed like it was developed as like the exact same game as Ninja Gaiden, you know?
Yeah. It's it's like similar concepts. But for my last pick, this one was tough because I have a couple of them that I am kind of going through my mind which ones to take. But I'm gonna have to go with oh my god, I don't know.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous people are going to take my pick.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Castlevania.
Okay.
Like, it was one of the first games. I'm a big horror fan, like horror movie fan, and like just going against Dracula, and you have you know, you go against the mummy and then, you know, Frankenstein and all that stuff in there. It's just awesome. You have the whip, like it's so iconic. The music is badass. It's made by Capcom. You can't go wrong with a Capcom game.
No, you can't go wrong, especially since they use the same code for. Or that was Konami. Sorry,
No, Konami. Yeah. No, Capcom made a bunch of good games. They made a bunch of licensed games that were really good.
I never got into Castlevania. I never really played it, but I didn't have it when I was a kid.
Hey, Brian, you want to add a 6th round to this? Because I got a lot of picks left.
Well, yeah, I mean we can do that. We were also going to do a round of games we hate.
Yeah.
But
I got a lot of those.
If you guys are okay, we can do
you
a
for
6th
picking
round.
Paperboy.
Yeah, we can do a 6th round. I'm down for that.
Okay.
Let's add a 6th round in there, and then we can
Let's
do.
get weird.
Yeah.
And then we'll do the Schwarzenegger movies.
Okay. I'm debating if I want to go for name brand recognition here, or if I want to go for some chalk, or but I think I'm going to have to cuck Peter on this because a lot of people say it's the better of the three, I should say, and that's Ninja Turtles 3: The Manhattan Project.
It came out too late. By that point, I know. I played it too. It's a really good game. My argument would be like not enough people played it. I feel like by that point, it was right before SNES and Sega kind of took off.
It came out on Genesis, didn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I had that.
But
So,
that's
I
probably one of the most user-friendly like combat smash button. It's a lot easier to use than the arcade version because that was just a port. But a lot of people argue that Manhattan Project is the better of the best of the Turtles games.
No, it's very good. I'm not going to
Graphics
argue
wise, I
that.
would say it is, and it was fun.
Yeah,
They didn't
and it was, instead of like being linear like with the arcade game, they actually had like more vertical or slanted, so it was like above its time too.
They didn't have the Pizza Hut sponsorship by that point, though.
Wait, they did though, didn't they? Like when you go to the beach, the Pizza Hut boxes fall on your head.
That was only in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. They had they do have pizza boxes, but they weren't Pizza Hut boxes.
Holy shit! How much of that game did you fucking play, man? You remember that?
I got a bunch of. I mean, yeah.
Well, I think for our generation too, we spend a lot of time in like arcades. Like you go to Pizza Hut, there's a Ninja Turtles arcade game. You go to a roller rink, there's a Ninja Turtles arcade game. You know, like pretty much every Haunted Trails, like anywhere you went, like back in the day growing up, there was always the Ninja Turtles arcade game, as well as the WrestleMania and the X-Men game. Like,
oh god,
yeah, the WrestleMania game was good. Shout out Falco's. They had those tabletop Pac-Man games. Miss Pac-Man.
Awesome.
I love those tabletop games.
Yep.
We want to get one for our basement. I found them at Kohl's. They're like $400.
Get it.
I'm gonna.
All right.
All right, Bologna. Let's do it again.
All right. So I like that we have an extra round because I was gonna be gutted if I didn't pick this, but I'm gonna pick it now. I didn't want to go too sports heavy. I feel like I had Punch Out there and stuff like that. It's Blades of Steel. It was the best hockey game for NES. I love Blades of Steel.
That was going to be my sleeper 6th round pick, dude.
And it's also one of those like sneaky, really good music. It's simple. It's only like, I think they only have 2 songs. Yeah. And then I remember like, you know, when you start the game and the 2 teams go skating around the ice. And then when I first went to a Blackhawks game as a kid, you know, they come out and warm ups and I'm like, holy shit, they're doing the Blades of Steel thing.
Yeah. Also, I just love in Blades of Steel, I would just purposely just go like like
yeah,
fight all the time.
Yeah, just get into fights, you know, because you had to purposely go like yep. It's almost like scissoring.
Nah, there you go again. Put another graphic up. So yeah, Blades of Steel.
No one's a scissor, like daddy bum.
So Brian, what you got, Brian?
Yeah, so the problem is not a lot of people understand that one.
It's a deep cut wrestling reference.
It's a wrestling reference, yes. Okay,
pretty widely well known.
You know, it hasn't been picked yet. I'm kind of surprised. I'm gonna go. Probably the most universal of the Nintendo games is Tetris.
Yep, good one.
So, with the Russian music in the background, and you know, it's one of those games that was duplicated like 787,000 times by 2,800 million freaking developers, and you can get it anywhere and you can play it anywhere, and it really kind of all started with the NES. It's one of the highest selling games ever. It's outside of Super Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt, and Mario 3, it is the highest selling game of all time. When I said earlier that the second and third games that didn't outsell, you know, collectively didn't outsell Mario 3, it was Tetris and Mario 2. So, yeah, I everybody played that game. So, and that's another game that Grandma could play, you know?
Yeah, I told you earlier that my dad used to always get hooked on Dr. Mario. Before that, it was always Tetris. And I have like memories of my childhood, like staying up at like 10, 11 o'clock at night, just playing Tetris with my dad.
Yep.
And it was such an awesome game. And I don't know if anyone remembers this game, but my dad played 3 games. It was Dr. Mario, it was Tetris, and it was Tiger Heli. And my dad fucking loved Tiger Heli. And it was basically just like the helicopter shoot 'em, like aerial kind of thing. But yeah, Tetris was awesome, especially when you get up to like the 8th and 9th level or speed. Good stuff.
The one thing I will argue, or at least maybe it's just a me thing, I always played Tetris on Game Boy. I always think of it as like a Game Boy game or like a handheld game. I didn't have it for Nintendo, but that, like I said, maybe that's just a me problem.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. My in-laws actually they still play Tetris on their Game Boys.
I never had a Game Boy, so I only played it on the Nintendo. But yeah, I would agree with that actually, because most people I would see playing it. It was a Game Boy,
like a handheld game.
You're right.
Speaking of Game Boy, the Mario game for Game Boy was like one of the worst Marios ever.
Yeah, that's it was trash.
I kind of
Super
felt like
Mario- Super
everything
Mario
on
Land?
Game Boy sucked. I don't know.
There was a Spider-Man game on Game Boy that was really, really good. I remember like the first 4 levels were like fairly easy, and then it got super hard. But yeah,
There was a couple good Zelda games that were on Game Boy.
Oh yeah, like the Game Boy Color or the
the original Game Boy. There's Link's Awakening, I think it was, that was on Game Boy. It was actually pretty good.
Link's Awakening they made into they colorized it. They made it to like
it's on the
Game
Switch
Boy.
now. I love Link's Awakening.
Yeah, Link's Awakening is awesome. I downloaded that and played that too. That's a great game. But you might be right. That might be on the original Game Boy too. They just might have made a port of it.
Yeah, I'm just looking it up now. Yeah, it was on the original one.
Okay, that's a great one.
Yeah, it's a fun game. Jackie, what you got for us?
Okay, I'm debating. I'm happy that no one picked my sleeper pick that I got here. But now that there's, what do I want? Oh, I got 2 picks in a row. Okay, going for it. So the first one is going to be RC Pro-Am.
Oh, hell yeah!
Good one.
Great pick. Yep.
RC Pro-Am Racing is a fucking GOAT game.
Yep.
It is for sure.
I don't know how it lasted until the 5th round, but that's okay. That's all right. It's mine now. It's mine.
Oh, you get like in the obstacles they put in there too, like fucking great game.
That was
All right, that's off my board.
Okay, and then the next one, I like this game because even though it's an NES game, there was a cabinet that was at my grandparents' like resort camper place, and I played it there. Marble Madness.
Oh, who was yelling it in the room earlier? Luke? Yeah.
Oh, was he? The cabinet had like a ball that you actually like rolled. So that was really fun. I remember like the enemies of that game were like some like weird slinky that used to eat your your marble, and like there was evil marbles that got you. It's tough out there on those marble streets.
That's one of those games that you can
Robert's
play
Road.
forever. Another one, you know.
Robert's Road.
All right. Oh shit. Last pick. All right. I gotta pick this. So my dad bought us the Nintendo right when it came out. It hadn't been out for very long when we bought it. And we got 2 games. Obviously, we had the Duck Hunt Mario combo. And then the other game we got was Pro Wrestling, the original Pro Wrestling game.
That pick made sense for you.
We played the living shit out of that game. And it was fun. And it was very simple. And there were a lot of different characters. And they were all based on other characters almost. Like there was a Killer Karn, which was actually... Killer Khan, you know, like just some of them were hidden a little better than others, but yeah, it was a fun game. It was very like you could play it over and over and over again, and it wasn't easy as you got deeper into the game. And yeah, I played the shit out of that one because I mean it might have been more so because we didn't have any other games at that point, but
the WrestleMania game that they came out with back in the day too was great. With I don't remember if it was called WrestleMania or if it was like
It was WrestleMania.
We're just giving away picks here now.
That's the worst. That's the worst game ever made.
This was going to be the worst. This was going to be my worst. Now that Paperboy was taken,
that was on my list. So
this is going to be my worst. So
okay,
spoiler alert: Jason just giving away picks.
You ain't taking my pick, Peter.
What do you got? What do you got, Bologna?
This is going to be tough, man. I feel there's a game sitting out here like that should be way up there. And I don't know if I want to pick it just to pick it. I personally wasn't that big of a fan of it, but it's just a huge game. So I don't know if someone else is going to pick it. I'm playing defense. This is a little, I think it has to be taken. And if not, if nobody takes this, it might like delegitimize all of us. So I'm taking Metroid. Like it has to be taken.
I was gonna take that, Peter. So yes, thank you for taking that.
Like it's like if you look at lists, it's like consensus, like probably like top 10 in NES and stuff like that. And it wasn't that high on my list, but I'm like, if we don't take it, people are gonna be like, "What the hell?"
It was a hard game too.
That was a hard game, and that's probably the reason why I didn't get that into it. It was not easy.
I hated Metroid because it was so easy. Like, okay, we got the bubble doors. I can't make the bubble doors turn blue. Fuck this game. I rage quit that one. Yeah. This game doesn't make any goddamn sense.
I will say that the most recent version they did for the Switch is like a throwback to the original Metroid, and it's awesome.
Yeah, my husband plays that.
Yeah, Metroid Dread, very very highly recommended game on my part. I guess I'm up right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this game. It might not be popular, but it's on a lot of lists. Excite Bike.
It's a good game.
Yes. Okay.
It's a fun game.
And the game itself kind of sucked, but what made it great was you can build your own course.
Yeah.
And if you play with a friend, it was just trying to give your friend the hardest fucking course possible, and it was always the letter E, which is like the whole like straight up like diamond triangle, and you just put like a whole course of like E's, and they could never finish it. But it's like I have like a lot of fond memories of just like building random courses with like my friends, and the thing that always sucked is like you start going, you're like, oh, I'm gonna get it, and then your fucking bike overheats, and you're like, you motherfucking bike, like, why are you overheating all the time? Like, get a better bike, dude. Like, why you have like the shittiest bike ever, and it always overheats every 10 seconds. Like, it sucked, but it was still a great game.
I loved your string of insults there. You fucking bike. Why'd you be a better bike? You fucking bike. Oh, that was funny. Okay.
The creating course part, it was cool because it was I think it was the first time the player thought that they were actually part of the the creative process of the game. So very unique portion of that. I had that in the middle of my list, so it wasn't forgotten. Yumper, what do you got, bud? Last pick.
All right, so I still have a couple picks that I could go with, but I'm gonna close this one out with another game that was hard as shit to play as a kid, but it left a lasting impression on me, and that's Ghosts and Goblins. I loved that game as a kid. It was hard as hell, and then you had to go back and beat the game twice.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Man. That's so hard.
Just hearing like the noises it made from the zombies coming up, and the you had a little devil guy flying around. It was hard, but it was fun, and I loved that game as a kid.
I remember like when the little ghosts were flying around, they made that really annoying noise.
The screeching noise.
Yeah. That game was fun. It was impossible to beat, but it was fun.
That's another rage quit game.
Yeah.
I had that. I was in between that and Metroid, but they're both like impossible games. But yeah, Ghosts and Goblins is a great game.
Hey Brian, do you mind if I pull an MSS here and give a couple of honorable mentions?
Absolutely. Well, wait. Why don't we do games we hate first, and then we'll do that.
Okay. Fair enough. So are we going in draft order then?
Yeah, we'll just do draft order. That's fine.
All right.
Just one or?
Yeah. Yeah.
So okay, this goes back to me hating a light gun. So there was this game, I don't know if you guys heard about this. It's called Gumshoe, and you're this fucking guy with glasses, and you're supposed to make him jump by shooting him, but you also have to shoot objects coming at him. And since I had a shitty fucking light gun, I always died, and like I never got past the first level. And as a kid, I fucking like I took that game out, and I remember I wanted to throw it so fucking bad, but like my dad was there, so I sat it on the table and I said, I don't want this anymore. Yeah, man, it was gauge was like $50 back then, dude. Do that shit. So I was like, So I was like, I sat it like by my dad. I'm like, I don't want this game anymore, and I think he gave it to my cousin or something. But that game fucking sucked.
Yeah, man. I feel like have you ever heard the expression "an artist never blames its tools"? Like,
oh, dude,
I don't know if it was the light gun, man. This is two games in a row where like this fucking light gun.
It was horrible, dude.
I'm gonna blame all my life's problems on a shitty light gun.
The light gun's fault.
My worst pick, and I think it's the GOAT of worst picks. It's the first Ninja Turtles game. It's
I had it on
absolute.
I like
it's
that.
the absolute worst fucking game. It's hard as shit. It makes no sense to the comic books or the TV show whatsoever. Yeah. And I don't think in my entire lifetime I ever got past the Ninja Turtle van rooftop, level.
You didn't get to like the swimming part?
I got past the swim. No, I'm talking about like the streets where you need the missiles.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
It's just, your guys are always going through the same level to get one little part, and then you're getting you're getting killed. Like, you gotta go rescue your turtle guys. Like, it sucked. I hated the first Ninja Turtles movies.
The episode of Angry Video Game Nerd where he reviews that one is just freaking epic.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
He like loses his mind. Just basically,
it's bad.
Yeah, it's real. I mean, I had fun playing it, so I wouldn't say worst, but yeah, there's certain things about it that are frustrating. Like, I remember there was one part where you could only get past it with one character. There was like you needed Donatello's stick to kill whatever it was to get past it. And nobody really. I don't think I ever saw anybody beat it.
No, I don't know anybody that.
No, I don't think it ever happened. So don't feel bad that you never got out of the streets.
No, I don't, because I at first I thought it was just me, and then I realized, oh no, it's an actual condition.
All right, I'm up, right? I mean, you guys know my pick. This bullshit game by Acclaim. Acclaim just got the license to the WWE WrestleMania and slapped Hulk Hogan on the cover, and immediately I wanted it. Of course I did. Yep. And I started playing it, and 30 minutes in, I realized this game is dog shit.
Yep.
It's just
they
like
have the characters turned red, and
the characters turned red. They're like basically just two blocks running into each other. They walk like they're constipated.
Yep.
Everything about this game is bad. Even to the point where they had the Honky Tonk Man. Nobody liked the Honky Tonk Man. They should have picked somebody else.
He was pretty tough to beat in that game too. I remember playing that game. He was pretty tough.
I have a question. What was worse? Was it the Hulk Hogan wrestling game or the Hulk Hogan album where he tells kids not to use drugs?
Yes.
Well, he did tell you to say your prayers and take your vitamins, but nobody knew his vitamins meant taking steroids. So.
And cocaine. Lots and lots of cocaine.
Yeah. And doing this draft made me realize I don't know why I have this game up here like in a display. I hate the game. What am I doing here?
I remember getting that game and being so excited. My dad and my brother and I jumped in the car, and I think we went to 4 or 5 Toys R Us looking for it.
Oh God,
dude! Everybody wanted it. It had Hogan.
We spent like 8 hours finding this fucking game, and we get it home, and we're like, "This is great." For like
20 minutes in, 20 minutes in, never play again.
Just want to put your head through a wall.
Speaking of cocaine, who's the cocaine bearer of White Sox Twitter?
That's my goal in life, is to become the cocaine bearer of White Sox Twitter.
I don't feel comfortable answering.
I mean, look at me. I kind of look like a bear, so
Oh, are you gonna go see it in the movies? Are you guys gonna go see it in the theaters?
I already suggested to Yumper and Svo today that we do a group outing for that one. Cocaine bear, and if they're not gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. It's getting drafty in here. Movie outing.
Brewhan Luke just answered your question. I'm not going to say it out loud.
I agree with Luke. I'm not going to put it on the screen though. So you stole my worst game ever. Luckily, I have a list of like 6 or 7 of them. So, I'm gonna go with the game that it was another one that I was like super excited to play. My mom wouldn't let me buy it because of the subject matter, but my cousin got it, and it's Friday the 13th.
Oh man!
Oh my God!
That game fucking sucked.
Just your actions, it made no sense. You're walking around and the map doesn't work. Like if you go one way and you check the map, you're going the other way, and then you go the other way and it's checking you the other. Like it was just completely nonsensical. It had this stupid alarm that would play all game because he's trying to kill a child, and all you have to fight him with is like a rock, basically. I remember.
Dude,
a Rock or the Rock? Because like Rock lays SmackDown on all their candy
Rock's
asses.
not beating Jason, dude.
one of the things that sticks out to me about that game is you were talking about the nerd earlier, the angry video game nerd, and when he describes it, he said Jason's out there and he's in his purple pajamas.
Yeah.
It's like the movie.
He had like purple coveralls on. I watched that episode last night. You and I talked about me like diving deep into the video game nerd hole last night. And I watched that one again, and god damn, was that game a big pile of poo. It was just fucking trash.
Wait, hold on. Can I interrupt real quick here?
Yeah.
Brian, I'm looking at the draft board here. You put Bologna as in round 3 as Duck Hunt when I drafted Duck Hunt.
Nope.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm drunk. It's Duck Hunt and DuckTales.
All right, Cocaine
damn.
Bear,
All right.
Jason,
You drafted,
HBIC, the head bum in charge.
you drafted Dutch Hunt. Don't forget.
Yeah, that's right.
Saturday.
All right, Jackie.
Disregard.
Jackie, what'd you hate?
Okay, I want to give an honorable mention hate to the game Double Dare. I don't know if anyone played Double Dare.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was
but
bad.
It was fucking awful, but that's not my pick. And I guarantee, I hope no one knows about this game except for me. This was a game that was at my cousin's house that I would play whenever I was over there because it was all that she had. And it is called Bugs Bunny Birthday Blowout. Is anyone familiar with that game?
No.
Good.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
horrible. It's horrible. So the premise is that it's Bugs Bunny's 50th birthday and he's invited to his own party, but like all the Looney Tunes are jealous that it's his birthday. So they just try to stop him to get there. It's like a scrolling screen game. And you just walk around with a hammer and shit that's in your way.
I do remember that.
And you collect
do.
carrots and like,
Yes.
yes.
I think I might have rented it like once or twice and played it, and like it's horrible.
It's
My wife
awful.
played it.
Thank you, Brandy. Okay, so that game was fucking horrible. And then like at the end, there was bosses and they were the Looney Tune characters. But when you beat the game, those characters were at his fucking party. So it didn't make any goddamn sense. It's a horrible game. Horrible.
I got one more bad game, and I know
Yeah,
Johnny's in the comments, and I know he gives me shit to this day about it because when I got my Nintendo, my mom, rightfully so, thought it was gonna rot my brain. So when I got Mario, she also got me Sesame Street ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. So it's got Astro Grover and then Ernie's Magic Shapes. I already knew my 1, 2, 3s by the time I got Nintendo. But my mom, bless her heart, was like, "We got to get him something educational." And Johnny still makes fun of me to this day.
Hold on, Peter, to piggyback to get on the I'm gonna piss off Johnny bandwagon. Another hate game, Zelda 2. I hated that game.
Adventures of Link, they re-released that.
I hated it. Maybe I may be the only
monster.
one, but the second Zelda was absolute dog shit in my opinion. Walking
Worse
around
than
field.
Sesame Street?
Okay, well then maybe you could pick like the Mickey Mouse game. Mickey Mouse Capades was a bad game too.
The Bible.
Wait till we get to
Bible
Sega
Adventures,
Genesis
yep.
because Mickey Mouse, like Castle of Illusions, like that game kicked ass.
Okay, I had a few more that I just wanted to mention on my list here. I had Top Gun, that fucking game. You could fly around and blow shit up, and then you can't land the goddamn plane ever.
Impossible.
Ever.
Then you go to the moon.
And then I got a message on Twitter from my buddy Carrie, wanted me to mention Back to the Future. You guys ever played Back to the Future game?
No, the horrible game.
It's Paperboy basically,
Yeah.
except the whole idea of the game is you're either running or you're riding a skateboard around trying to collect clocks.
Yeah, and you throw
Example-
bowling balls.
Right, and you throw and it's like the perfect example of like the game where they just like slapped a license on it and said, "Okay, here we go. It's like fucking ET on the Atari. You know what I mean? Like it just
it's pretty bad.
You know, you ever played Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? That game was a big pile of shit.
It was horrible.
That's bad. Karate Kid was awful.
Bad, very bad. I remember that one.
Bad. Another one where it just like it had nothing to do with the movie at all. You ever play the X-Men game?
Yes. Oh my god, the game is horrible.
It's basically like blobs of colors walking around.
Sega had a really good X-Men game.
Yes, they did. They did. And then finally, and I have to mention this because my wife and I found it in her mom's basement a while back. The robot, Robbie the Robot with the Gyromite, and then what was the other one?
Oh, I don't know. He only played 2 games though. I know that.
Yeah, that thing was the biggest pile of shit ever made. And I don't know why they fucking did that. That's like one of those like, dude, Nintendo was on fucking crack. Like straight up just
all of the drugs.
Marketing, dude.
Everything. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I just try to throw shit at the wall and I'm sure they had 70 different ideas that day for the whatever higher up in Nintendo. And they're like, oh, I like the robot. Like, just go ahead and make the fucking robot. So.
Oh, for that, Brian, I have something for you.
Oh, yeah? Thank you. Can we actually add that as an option to the show, or do I just have to? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
I will be stealing that idea as well. Thank you.
And then I just wanted to go real quick before we wrap up. A few on my list of good games. That
some honorable mentions.
Yeah, I got Baseball Simulator 1000, Baseball Robots. Come on, man. Skate or Die was one of my favorite games ever.
Yeah.
Skate or Die, very fun. RBI Baseball, another baseball one.
That was mine.
I saw a million people in here mention Double Dribble. Double Dribble, basically Blades of Steel but basketball. It was almost the same game, but you ever played Boy and His Blob?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That game is fucking amazing. Jacki, I think you'd like that. It's a guy. It's about a kid that walks around with a blob, and the blob helps him perform tasks around town. It's very strange.
What made you think I would like that?
I don't know. It seems like a fun, like it's almost like a puzzly kind of game. That's just like I don't know. Just
it's like some King's Quest shit.
Yeah, analytical thinker. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Maniac Mansion, brilliant game. If you guys ever played that one,
you ever played that one?
Oh man, that's fun. That's like a whodunit kind of thing where you have to like. There's all kinds of different. It's very deep. You have to find. There's like a weird doctor that lives in a mansion, and you uncover clues and stuff to get his ass in jail or whatever. Ice hockey.
Nintendo that's a good game too. You can pick between the fat guy, the skinny guy, and the regular guy.
And yeah. You get a team full of regular guys who win every time. Castlevania 3 was a really good one.
Yeah, that's
the only Castlevania I ever played.
It's like a game.
Yeah.
The second one was garbage, but
there's a couple games like Castlevania 3, and I should mention Mega Man 3 too, because a lot of people like 3 better than 2. I think 2 was like, revolutionary for Mega Man, but Mega Man 3 had Rush, and people love dogs, so Rush was awesome.
Yes. You also one I had to mention was Kung Fu. That was a game that I played as a kid too. With you just go around the levels like enter Game of Death, like Bruce Lee. Like another great game.
Absolutely. That was one of the original ones too. That was one of the ones that came out real early.
I got a couple real quick. Yeah, Peter, you mentioned Mega Man 3. That was also on my list. Maybe arguably the better of the 2 or 3. Double Dragon 2. People could make an argument that was the better of the Double Dragons. I'm surprised no one mentioned this yet because it spawned a hugely successful franchise. I got 2 that actually spawned 2 hugely successful franchises. Metal Gear, the first one was always on Nintendo. People don't remember that before it got ported to PlayStation.
I played it. I didn't like it.
Yeah, that game was not a good game.
Yeah, it wasn't a good one though.
It didn't get good until PlayStation.
But it got better on Play. But yeah, I could see why you think that. But Final Fantasy, another one too.
Also, don't forget about
first ever
Kirby.
Final Fantasy.
Kirby.
And Kirby.
Yeah,
Kirby
so
was
I had that on my list.
Kirby was the last one. So those were my honorable mentions.
I had Kirby. Q*bert was a weird game, but I loved Q*bert. And then there was one game that I had mentioned about being like a licensed game along with Batman and DuckTales, and that's Chippendale Rescue Rangers. That game was fun as hell. I almost picked it on my last pick, but I'm like, this is criminal if Metroid doesn't get picked. But Chippendale Rescue Rangers was a very, very fun game.
I had a friend who had that we played all the time. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to give my 2 honorable mentions. One is on behalf of my husband. He would be very mad if I didn't say Kid Icarus. So I'm going to throw that in there.
Really good game.
We still play that on our Switch.
Those damn eggplants.
And then the other game that I want to mention, even though I didn't really like it on NES, but it spawned into a PC game that became my favorite PC game of all time. So I'm going to give a shout out to Might and Magic. That gave way to Heroes of Might and Magic on the PC.
Jacki.
Yes.
So I absolutely loved Heroes of Might and Magic on the PC.
Heroes of Might and Magic 3, Restoration of Arathia.
Heroes of Might and Magic 2, Heroes of Might and Magic 3. I'm going to blow your mind right now if you don't know this. They're actually turning Heroes of Might and Magic 3 into a board game.
No.
And it's coming out next year. You could have funded the Kickstarter right now, but look it up on, just type Heroes 3 Kickstarter and you'll see it. And it looks like the most amazing board game. And I'm going to spend so much money on that and all the expansion packs, because me and my buddies, we grew up playing Heroes of Might and Magic 2 and 3. And I am just going to I told him, we'll come over, we'll drink some bourbon. I'll kick your ass in Heroes of Might and Magic 3. And we're going to nerd out the entire night.
Okay. Can I come too? Can I come too?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can come too and drink some bourbon, and we'll all play Heroes of Might and Magic 3 board game.
So you still get to choose your path. I was always a necromancer.
Yep. And you can actually
give me all the
dragons. Well, you need all the black dragons.
Oh shit, yeah.
But they actually have hexagon formed boards, and they actually have the fog of war, so it's all black when you start, and then as you progress, you flip the boards over, and it reveals more of the land. It looks awesome. They actually brought the video game to life, and I didn't think that could actually be done, but they did it. And just look it up when you're after the show. It looks phenomenal. It's coming out next year.
Yay.
I don't think you guys are speaking English right now. What in the hell?
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. I just don't know what you guys are talking about.
Okay.
Heroes of Might and Magic 3.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
Restoration of Arathia.
I want bourbon, but I'm not playing that shit, Jason. I'll be the referee.
I had a couple more on my list I just mentioned at the end here. River City Ransom, which is basically
that game was awesome, man.
Basically Double Dragon, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's basically the same game, but yeah.
Anybody ever play Caveman Olympics?
Ooh,
I don't think I know that.
So ridiculous. It's basically it's like track and field, but it's caveman. It's like Flintstone version, like the hammer throw. You basically grabbing a woman by her hair and swinging her around and throwing her.
Oh.
So
that's problematic.
I mean, obviously,
I thought I was going to get canceled with my Mike Tyson pick. Brian, you're canceled now too.
Oh, I don't want to be canceled.
It's giving patriarchy and.
I was looking through my list here of just random shit that I had. I had a couple more real quick. So did you know that Donkey Kong was sued by the makers of King Kong?
I could see that.
For the rights. It's kind of funny. Guess how many? So if you took all the games that included Mario and included them all together, how many copies have been sold of those games?
Holy shit.
A billion.
I was about to say, it's got to be... Fuck, I don't even know. Yeah,
it was roughly,
1,000,000,001.
It was roughly 550 million
Damn it.
sales.
I lose.
So, and then the Nintendo,
Price is right, baby.
The Nintendo itself was the highest selling console until which console?
PlayStation.
Nope.
PS2?
Xbox?
PlayStation 2.
The original Wii.
Wow.
Oh, really? Wow.
It's kind of a cool thing. But
I registered for a Wii when we got married. And we got it.
Awesome.
Good job.
That's like the best wedding gift you can get.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Beatles rock band all day.
I might have to fire it up and play some Dr. Mario. I'm going to be Julie's in the comments. She's going to be mad I didn't draft it. It got stolen from me.
The comments in general are on fire, man. I can't appreciate you guys enough. Guests, obviously, you guys were freaking great. This was a blast. But everybody, please like and subscribe. Tainted Glove. Make sure to follow all of our shows. Follow Chicago Sports Bums. What can you give me your ats and everything real quick?
Yeah, we're at Shy Sports Bums, and then the bums consist of Bologna, Peter Fonseca, and Johnny the Southside Bum at Windy City Rebel 4. Yep. So follow all of the bums and make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube as well, because we need some more followers on YouTube if we're going to make some money.
We're working on the subscriptions. Monday nights, 9 p.m. We will have Brewhand Luke on in 2 weeks. We'll be talking bowl season and then some holiday beers. And I think we're going to power rank our favorite beers in general. So it should be a fun show.
Speaking of bowl season, I'm going to be dusting off the playback account, and we'll be doing some watch parties for some bowl games. So you guys are more than welcome to join me for that. I know I talked to Jacki. I'm gonna try to schedule us doing Mystery Science Theater 3000 for Hallmark Christmas movies. So that's hopefully coming around the edge. And then you can follow Jacki, Zombie Jacki, Southside Sox, all sports.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you want to read my serious baseball thoughts, because I cover the Chicago White Sox because I hate myself. You can find it at Southside Sox.
We all do.
Oh boy. And I haven't written anything for All Sports Scene, but I edit their stuff. And I was on the podcast talking about basketball, which was pretty fun.
It's hilarious.
I don't know anything about basketball.
That was the funny part. Like you played that role really well. That came off hilarious.
Yeah. The thing about basketball is, the ball is orange.
That's a great point.
And then I just want to give a shout out real quick too, that the bums are going to be on Yumper's show coming up in February.
You didn't even let me get to that. I was going to mention that.
Sorry. I'm
sorry,
man.
You're so used to hosting, Jason. You just got to sit back and relax, baby.
Man, control freak.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, man.
I'll take the horn all day. I love it.
No, you can follow me at Lil Yumper on Twitter and check out Yumper and Swole at the show podcast, talk about movies. We just had Bologna on to talk some Rocky movies. And what Jason was alluding to is that we're actually going to be doing a show with the bums February 18th at the Wiener Circle in the Relish Room podcast. So afterwards, we're actually going to have a live podcast. Come out, see us, and then we're going to go across the street to the bar across the street and have some drinks with everybody. So looking forward to seeing everybody then.
Right on. Cool. Right on.
I should ask if I can bartend that night too.
Ooh.
You're back in it, man.
Don't rudely say yes. But yeah, you could follow the show. This show, it's Getting Drafty at Getting Drafty Pod on the Twitters. You can also follow me my personal account at Magnificent Stan. Please visit the Tainted Gloves website, thetaintedglove.com. We have we have blogs, we have podcasts, we got a little bit of everything, and we're adding more and more by the day. Please make sure to take a look at what Yumper did in October. I almost killed him doing the 31 Days of Halloween, as well as all of the awesome movie reviews that our buddy K-Feds does, as well as the Collector's Corner with Aloha Mr. Hand. You're going to hear a little bit more about, I'm going to start scheduling Playback, which is a website that allows you to stream live sports and live TV and basically do this while a sporting event is playing in the middle of the screen. So we're hoping that that adds to our stable of content and hope to help grow us. But again, I appreciate you guys watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you with the next one. Should be in the next couple weeks. We're going to be doing Christmas movies with some fun guests. More on that as it develops. So thanks again, and have a good one.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Brian.
Night, everyone.
Buddy, don't wait for me.
All right.